Always we exist. Never do we not exist. What is this existence? Beginningless and endless is this indivisible existence. Knowledge is abidance in it, as it, Brahman. How many jnanis, knowers, are there? There are neither few nor many. Their number cannot be known. For though we are this existence is not actually we. Without limitation of the body, beyond conception by the mind, is the immeasurable existence of Brahman, one's own real self. Inasmuch as the self is the dweller in the heart of those who are devoted to truth, the number of devotees also cannot be known. They are neither few nor many, but are without difference. Of the disciples and devotees of Sri Bhagavan, how many realize the truth of the self? They are neither few nor many. For in the realization of the self is found the complete non-existence of the individual, the ego. Knowledge of your identity with existence, Brahman. Is indivisible. For this reason, it is said that Shankara defeated all the dualists because the dualists did not exist. Likewise, their dualism. Of us here now, we are neither few nor many. The realized stand as that which has been realized. As for the unrealized, who are they? There are in truth no unrealized beings. And realized beings are simply realized being. They are neither few nor many. The ever-existent is the indivisible. You are neither few nor many, nor can you be counted as even one, for you are not a thing. Existence is eternal, undifferentiated, egoless, unembodied, unconceived, and always is just as it is. There is no second not to know this. To find out the truth of what has just been explained and enjoy the supreme bliss thereof. Inquire deeply within, who am I?
Thank you, Master. Some connection could be made between your discourse this morning and some of the comments read from the record of Maharshi on Friday, if only because the teaching can always be connected with itself on different occasions. But what I had in mind was his comment about not in this case, you could say the counting of different kinds of bodies is somewhat an illusion, this kind of body, that kind of body. Well, he was talking about, or someone was speaking to him about different experiences or occurrences, some being magical versus ordinary. And I've heard or read where someone might speak of a vision of Shiva, he'd take up the discussion on a devotional aspect. But in this case, he made the point, why distinguish between so-called magical occurrences when the whole waking state dream is just an imagination of the mind, just like the other is? I mean, they're both the same. And a similar point almost was made when someone asked him about how many obstacles there are to realization, and he questioned the count. So it seemed like he was taking some good slices at the stability of a relative reality in the waking state as having, solid, enduring meaning. And it seemed very, very useful. Not exactly related, but in earlier weeks and other discourses, you mentioned the reality of the self being ever the same. Now, this is a wholly different tack, but at first I took that to be between the three states of waking, dream, and deep sleep. And it seemed that the waking state mind could never capture the sense of existence in deep sleep because it's just of a different nature. It would have to be known in deep sleep. But then it also seemed that by saying ever the same, you could also project it back to beginningless, infinite past of time and infinite eternity of future. And if the self is wondrous in any of those senses, it's wondrous all the time, because it's ever the same. So it's already, so to speak, as wondrous as it would ever be in some future, if you wanted to speak in terms of time. I don't know, those are just some reflections from recent discussions that you had.
Now that you've reflected on these things, dive within and inquire. Find that which is truly wonderful, the eternal, that which transcends the states and their content. Turn within.
Master, I was wondering if you might talk about memories and if they hold really any importance. I found myself recently doing kind of some life review and looking at my past and where I felt like I made poor choices that affected my life. Even maybe obsessing about it a little bit, thinking too much about it. And I'd like to let go of that and just try to stay more present.
Memories are of the mind. Is that real? What is the nature of the mind?
It's constantly changing, spinning fantasies.
Something unchanging knows it. That is subject neither to remembrance nor forgetfulness. You say that you have these memories, and perhaps you are trying to learn something from them. Whose memories are they? The memories are thought forms known by you. Who are you? If you misidentify, such is ignorance. And ignorance brings with it regrets. To be free of all ignorance, examine what you identify with. Again, who are you? In deep dreamless sleep, thought subsides, and all your memories vanish. But you still exist. The existence that is then is the same existence that you are now. What is it?
There's a deep peace in that state.
I could not hear you.
There's a deep sense of peace in that state of deep sleep.
Yes. And there's not a trace of what you regard as you, neither your memories nor your anticipations, neither the personality nor the notion I. And there is peace. Bring about that peace even in the waking state by knowledge of yourself.
True knowledge of the self.
So I've been meditating kind of, this morning you mentioned about, and I don't remember exactly what it was said, but about the non-liberated one, and I got a sense for inquiry into that one. And the other thing I've been meditating on is the Maharshi mentioned on Friday about dispassion and how that stabilizes or makes the mind steady in the self, or stable, maybe steady for self-inquiry. So that really makes sense, that the mind can't be going outward, searching for happiness outside. It has to be, you have to divest that outwardness. But when you mention this thing about the non-liberated, I definitely think of myself as definitely non-liberated.
Who is not liberated? If you search for the one who is ignorant, you will find that he doesn't exist, but only the self, which is of the nature of transcendent knowledge, exists. That transcendent knowledge is unalloyed consciousness, infinite and eternal. It is never bound. So question within yourself, when you feel as if bound, unliberated. Who is it that is in such a state? As long as that one is assumed to exist as a separate individuality, bondage will appear. As soon as his nature is known, the real self stands self-revealed. And what was called previously liberation is found to be your own nature. Yes, vairagya or detachment, dispassion, is essential. For that, one has only to know the true source and nature of happiness. Then the mind ceases to disturb itself. The cessation of pursuing its own imaginings is called an inward mind, or a steady mind. Happiness is your nature. Liberation also is your nature. Who are you?
So it's answered, the meditation is one and the same, really. Sounds like it all leads to that inquiry. Because I was thinking more like seeing how that happiness can't be delivered. It's exactly what you were saying. It's imagination, right? I imagine all this stuff, but there's no fruit. There's no imagination can't deliver. It's like my last night's dream. What's funny? And yet I was believing in my last night's dream,
As long as you maintain the identity of being a dream character, the dream continued. When you abandoned the dream world, lost your attachment to it, and relinquished the notion of the dream character, the experiencer of that world, the dream was over.
Yeah. And it was interesting, the question before about the history. Because to think that somehow there's a history to, or continuity of that imagination, and that.
The apparent continuity in samsara is borrowed from the continuous existence of the real self. How could the non-eternal be continuous? The eternal alone is continuous and immutable. The history, the memories, and such. Don't all of these pertain to the body? I did, I chose, etc. All these are in relation to a body. Are you a body?
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense in a certain sense, because even those memories, there's, in a certain sense, memories of a body.
So how could memories of what is unreal be true?
Yeah. Maybe it's only would be if there's some sort of karma involved, maybe. In other words,
To what are you referring?
any deed that kind of, I think, produces karma in a certain sense, where there's attachment. Because sometimes if stuff...
Yes, and for this reason we do not advocate the attempt to eradicate memories. Rather, we cease to misidentify with the content of the memories, cease to misidentify with that which was the cause of the karma.
Yeah.
We merely try to forget the memories, maintain the same ignorance, the same misidentification. New memories will be created to replace the old ones.
Yeah, along the same lines, right? In other words, if there's attachment, it wouldn't eradicate the attachment by forgetting about it.
That's right.
So it just shows the importance of rooting out ignorance. And the repetitive cycle, I guess. But I guess that what you're talking about, though, is a real just the real inquiry into because I took that meditation a little bit, I think, shallower than what the Maharishi meant about dispassion. And it seems that ties into, just cutting off the root of, because you said know the place of happiness. And to me that means inquiry into yourself. Or eliminating the sense of an I. Maybe that's...
Inquiry itself is a very happy thing. The only thing that's happier is the realization brought about by it. Since the nature of realization is identical with that which is realized, your own being, therefore, is bliss. So if you wish for happiness, know yourself.
आसीनो दूरं व्रजति शयानो याति सर्वतः कस्तं मदामदं देवं मदन्यो ज्ञातुमर्हति.
While sitting, it travels far away. While sleeping, it goes everywhere. But who can know that deity who is both joyful and joyless?
अशरीरगं शरीरेषु अनवस्थेष्वस्थितं महान्तं विभुमात्मानं मत्वा धीरो न शोचति.
Having meditated on the self as bodiless in the midst of bodies, as permanent in the midst of the impermanent, and as great and pervasive, the wise man does not grieve.
नायमात्मा प्रवचनेन लभ्यो न मेधया न बहुना श्रुतेन यमेवैष वृणुते तेन लभ्यः तस्यैष आत्मा विवृणुते तनूगं स्वाम्.
This self cannot be known through much study, nor through the intellect, nor through much hearing. It can be known through the self alone that the aspirant prays to. The self of that seeker reveals its true nature.
इन्द्रियेभ्यः परा ह्यर्था अर्थेभ्यश्च परं मनः मनसस्तु परा बुद्धिः बुद्धेरात्मा महान् परः.
The sense objects are higher than the senses, and the mind is higher than the sense objects, but the intellect is higher than the mind, and the great soul is higher than the intellect.
महदः परमव्यक्तम् अव्यक्तात् पुरुषः परः पुरुषान्न परं किञ्चित् सा काष्ठा सा परागतिः.
The unmanifested is higher than Mahat. Purusha is higher than the unmanifested. There is nothing higher than Purusha. He is the culmination. He is the highest goal.
एष सर्वेषु भूतेषु गूढोत्मान प्रकाशते दृश्यते त्वग्रया बुद्ध्या सूक्ष्मया सूक्ष्मदर्शिभिः.
He is hidden in all beings, and hence he does not appear as the self of all. But by the seers of subtle things, he is seen through a pointed and fine intellect.
यच्चेद्वाङ्मनसि प्राज्ञः तद्यच्चेत् ज्ञान आत्मनि ज्ञानमात्मनि महदि नियच्छेत् तद्यच्छेत् शान्त आत्मनि.
The discriminating man should merge the organ of speech into the mind. He should merge that mind into the intelligent self. He should merge the intelligent self into the great soul. He should merge the great soul into the peaceful self.
उत्तिष्ठता जाग्रता प्राप्य वरान् निबोधता क्षुरस्य धारा निशिता दुरत्यया दुर्गं पदस्तत्कवयो वदन्ति.
Arise, awake, and learn by approaching the excellent ones. The wise ones describe that path to be as impassable as a razor's edge, which when sharpened is difficult to tread on.
अशब्दमस्पर्शमरूपमव्ययं तथारसं नित्यमगन्धवच्च अनाद्यनन्तं महतः परं ध्रुवं निच्चाय तन्मृत्युमुखात् प्रमुच्यते.
One becomes freed from the jaws of death by knowing that which is soundless, touchless, colorless, undiminishing, and also tasteless, eternal, odorless, without beginning and without end, distinct from Mahat and ever constant.
नचिकेतमुपाख्यानं मृत्युप्रोक्तगं सनातनम् उक्त्वा श्रुत्वा च मेधावी ब्रह्मलोके महीयते.
Relating and hearing this eternal anecdote as received by Nachiketa and as told by death, the intelligent man becomes glorified in the region that is Brahman.
ആനന്ദസ്വരൂപ ഭാവനയാൽ ആനന്ദാബ്ദി ഉറയ്ക്കും അധ്യായം.
அகில ஜெகநாயகனாம் பரேசன் முன்னம் அநாமயமாம் அகண்ட பர பிரம்மானந்தம் மகிமைதனை மாசரவே உரைத்த வண்ணம் மைந்தனினக்கிவ்வோத்தில் மற்றும் சொல்வேன். நிகிலமுமே அகண்ட பரிபூன்றமான நிரதிசயானந்த பரபிரம்மமேயாம். சுககணமாம் பரபிரம்மம் அது நான் என்று சோர்வரவே சிந்தித்து சுகித்திருப்பாய். சங்கமிலா சனதனவானந்த நானே சலனமிலா சாசுவதானந்த நானே. துங்கமதாம் தூய பரானந்த நானே துவைத்தமிலா அத்வைதானந்த நானே. பங்கமிலா பரமசிவானந்த நானே பாசமிலா பரமான்மானந்த நானே. எங்குமுள்ள பரபிரம்மானந்த நான் என்று எப்போதும் பாவித்து சுகித்திருப்பாய். கருதியிடும் விஷயமிலானந்த நானே காரிய காரணமுமிலானந்த நானே. நிர்மலமாய் நிகழ் பரமானந்த நானே நீக்கமிலா நித்தியவானந்த நானே. ஒரு வடிவாய் உள்ள பரானந்த நானே உணர்வுருவாய் ஒளி பரமானந்த நானே. இருமையிலா ஏக பரானந்த நான் என்று எப்போதும் பாவித்து சுகித்திருப்பாய். கருத்திலுறும் களங்கமிலானந்த நானே கற்பிதமோர் அணுவுமிலானந்த நானே. விருத்தி உணர் விமல பரானந்த நானே விருத்திக்கும் அதித பரானந்த நானே. திருப்தி தரும் திவ்யவானந்த நானே திரிசியமோர் அணுவுமிலானந்த நானே. அருத்தி செய்யும் அகண்ட பரானந்த நான் என்று அனவரதம் பாவித்து சுகித்திருப்பாய். அழிவற்ற அக்ஷயவானந்த நானே அகண்ட பத லட்சியவானந்த நானே. பழுதற்ற ஞான பரானந்த நானே பரம்பொருளாயுள்ள பரானந்த நானே. மொழியற்ற மோன பரானந்த நானே மோகமிலா மோக்ஷ பரானந்த நானே. ஒழிவற்ற பூன்ற பரானந்த நான் என்று உரமாக பாவித்து சுகித்திருப்பாய். சடமருவாய் சின்மய ஆனந்த நானே சலியாத சண்மய ஆனந்த நானே. மடமயுரா நிர்மல ஆனந்த நானே மயக்கமிலா நிர்குண ஆனந்த நானே. திடவடிவாய் திகழ் பரமானந்த நானே திலமளவும் பேதமிலானந்த நானே. இடர்மருவாய் ஏக பரானந்த நான் என்று எளிதாக பாவித்து சுகித்திருப்பாய். இணையொன்றும் இல்லாத பரானந்த நானே இளதுளதென்றெண்ணமிலானந்த நானே. குணமூன்றும் இல்லாத பரானந்த நானே குய்யமதாயுள்ள பரானந்த நானே. நடுநாம ரூபமிலானந்த நானே நாசமிலா நட்ஸ்வரூபானந்த நானே. அணுவேனும் பேதமிலானந்த நான் என்று அதிதிடமாய் பாவித்து சுகித்திருப்பாய். கலனமர கண்ட பரானந்த நானே கருமத்தால் உற்ற பரானந்த நானே. பலவிதமாய் பற்றியவானந்த நானே பக்தியினால் உற்ற பரானந்த நானே. உலகிலுள்ள ஆனந்தம் அனைத்தும் நானே உரை மனது ககுசரவானந்த நானே. இலகியிடும் மகண்ட பரானந்த நான் என்று இடையறவே பாவித்து சுகித்திருப்பாய். மிக மிகவும் மகிழ் பரமானந்த நானே மெய்யுணர்வாய் மேவு பரானந்த நானே. சகலமுமாய் சார்ந்த பரானந்த நானே சாந்தமதாய் செறிந்த பரானந்த நானே. துகள் மருவா சுத்த பரானந்த நானே தொந்தமிலா முக்த பரானந்த நானே. அகமருவா மகண்ட பரானந்த நான் என்று ஆதரவாய் பாவித்து சுகித்திருப்பாய். விமலமதாய் விளங்கு பரானந்த நானே, விசேஷமிலா வேதியவானந்த நானே, சமமதுவாய் செறிந்த பரானந்த நானே, சங்கல்ப விகற்பமிலானந்த நானே, நிமலமதாய் நிலைத்த பரானந்த நானே, நிகிலமுமாய் நிறைந்த பரானந்த நானே, அமலமதாய் அமர்ந்த பரானந்த நான் என்று அனிசமுனி பாவித்து சுகித்திருப்பாய். வித்தையினால் விளங்கு பரானந்த நானே, வித்தைக்கும் அதீத பரானந்த நானே, மித்தையிலா சத்தியவானந்த நானே, மேவுவதற்கரிய பரானந்த நானே, இத்வைதம் எவையுமிலானந்த நானே, ஏக பரிபூரணவானந்த நானே, அத்வைதமான பரானந்த நான் என்று அனிசமுனி பாவித்து சுகித்திருப்பாய். மாயை முதல் கதித பரானந்த நானே, மகாவாக்கின் லட்சியவானந்த நானே, தூய சிதா காய பரானந்த நானே, துக்க சுகம் எவையுமிலானந்த நானே, நேயமதாய் நிகழ் பரமானந்த நானே, நிகரற்ற நிரதிசயானந்த நானே, ஏயமிலா ஏக பரானந்த நான் என்று இருமையர பாவித்து சுகித்திருப்பாய். ஆதிமுடி ஒன்றுமிலானந்த நானே, ஆன்மாவுக்கு அபின பரானந்த நானே, ஜோதி இருள் எவையுமிலானந்த நானே, சூக்ஷ்மமாய் செறிந்த பரானந்த நானே, வேதமிலா பூரணவானந்த நானே, பின்னமர பிறங்கு பரானந்த நானே, வேதமிலா பரபிரம்மானந்த நான் என்று இருமையர பாவித்து சுகித்திருப்பாய். சந்ததமும் சலனமிலானந்த நானே, சமாதியினால் சார்ந்த பரானந்த நானே, பந்தமர பிறங்கு பரானந்த நானே, பரம்பதமாய் பற்று பரானந்த நானே, சிந்தையர செறிந்த சிதானந்த நானே, ஜெகதோற்ற சிறிதுமிலானந்த நானே, அந்தமிலா அகண்ட பரானந்த நான் என்று அயலறவே பாவித்து சுகித்திருப்பாய். பரமூப சாந்த பரானந்த நானே, பராத்பரமாய் பரவிய ஆனந்த நானே, இருமையிலாதிலகு பரானந்த நானே, ஏகமதாயிருந்த பரானந்த நானே, சரமசரம் எவையுமிலானந்த நானே, ஜகஜீவ பரங்களிலானந்த நானே, ஒரு வடிவாயுள்ள பரானந்த நான் என்று ஒளிவரவே பாவித்து சுகித்திருப்பாய். சொல்லவுண சுபவ பரானந்த நானே, சுயஞ்சோதி ஆன பரானந்த நானே, தொல்லையதாம் துரிய பரானந்த நானே, துரியத்தும் அதித பரானந்த நானே, அல்லலிலா அகண்ட பரானந்த நானே, அனைத்துக்கும் அதித பரானந்த நானே, எல்லையிலா ஏக பரானந்த நான் என்று எப்போதும் பாவித்து சுகித்திருப்பாய்.